Hello my frugal friends, and welcome back to week 2 of Frugal February. This is the month where I've set a grocery budget target for our family to spend $25 per person per week on food. So that gives our family of 3 a total budget of $75 per week. But I'm also trying to rein that in a little bit more as well and try and get closer to $50 each week if I can, utilizing the things that I already have on hand in my fridge, freezer and pantry. So it's a combination of a grocery budget challenge and a use it up challenge. It's going to go for the whole month, and I'm going to share with you guys our adventure. So on Wednesdays we're going to have a grocery haul, a meal plan come out, and on Sundays I'm going to recap all of the meals that I cooked for the week and just throw in any thoughts and epiphanies that I've had along the way. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, then I would love for you to join us on this adventure. If you're keen to give Frugal February a go yourself, that would be super awesome. Let me know in the comments. As always, you guys set your own budgets and rules. Work with a budget that is going to work for you and your family, given the parameters that we all need to work with. So we all live in different parts of the country, different parts of the world. We all have accessibility to different stores, and we're going to have different demands on us at home too. Some of us are working with different dietary requirements, all of that sort of jazz. You guys do what works for you and set a target that's just going to help you save a couple of bucks, because at the end of the day, that's what it is all about. And we're just going to do what works for each of us, because that's super awesome. So yes, our grocery budget that we're working towards is $25 per person. But like I said, I am actually trying to rein that in a little bit further if I can and just save a little bit extra. I'm aiming to spend somewhere between $50 a week on the lower end, $75 a week on the upper end, and use up all the things that we have on hand in the fridge, freezer and pantry. So why don't we have a look at what we are starting with this week. This is week 2, given that week 1 was sort of a bit of a short week. This is going to be our real first full week. Let's have a look at what was left over from last week's grocery haul, and then I'll show you guys what is still in the fridge, the freezer and the pantry that we can utilize as well. And we better go grocery shopping so we can get ready for week 2. Sounds like a plan? Let's get to it. So this is just a quick look at all the things that I have left over from last week's shop that I'm still going to be using again this week. And this is what I was hoping for, to start getting a little bit of rotation in so I can buy some different things each week and still have some leftovers. So because I did start with the things I already have in my pantry and my fridge and freezer, and I will show you what's left over in those as well. I still have quite a bit of the oats because I already had a bag in there. I knew I was going to need some more, but I wasn't going to use an entire bag. But as you can see, I've still got quite a bit of oats. I still have probably half the potatoes, or a little less. I've still got half the bag of carrots. I have 2 bananas left over, half a bag of our beans, or probably actually less than that. Okay, so maybe that's more like a quarter. But I've still got some of the beans, half a bag of frozen corn. I still have 1 packet of tofu left over, because one of the meals that I was going to do I didn't end up doing. I did something else, but that's okay. I still have half a bag of our frozen spinach. Not very much of the flour. I have done 3 lots of bread so far. Today is Monday, so I've probably got maybe enough to do 1 more. So maybe a 2-kilo bag gets me 4 loaves of bread. I'm not sure, but there's not a lot of that left. 1 of the cans of coconut milk, because again, one of the recipes I was going to do I didn't do. And quite a bit of the rice. So 2 kilos of rice is going to last quite a while. So that is not a bad start for meal planning for this week. Over in the freezer, we are still working through the stuff that we already had on hand. So I still have some of the frozen fruit that we already have. We have been working through this, so they're emptier than what they look. Blueberries, mixed berries. I've got some bananas down in here. I also have a bunch of frozen goodies that we can work through as well, which I will use up as we go. So things like tofu and tempeh and some koftas, and right down the bottom there are some cauliflower burgers. I've got frozen onion. That is some of the celery that was left over last week from a previous couple of weeks ago. So yesterday I decided to get those in the freezer. So that is celery all diced up, ready to go into meals. Some falafels, small bag of cooked rice. Maybe I will do something with that very shortly and get that out of the way. Some frozen edamame, some frozen pineapple, just the usual stuff that you sort of have lurking in your freezer. The old fridge though is starting to look pretty bare. Look at that. Hardly, well, there's nothing left down here. So no veggies or fruit. I do have just a couple of sticks of celery there. We've been using that in a little bit of cooking, but it's also a great snack. Condiments. I do have some silken tofu that I've opened. So one's been mixed up. The other half is just in a container there. This is muffins and banana bread, which I've cooked, and behind that is leftover chili from last night. A little bit of capsicum there to still use up, but most of this is stuff that I've prepped for the week. So black beans, which I've prepped and ready to go, and that is my overnight oats container. Not a lot in the fridge. The pantry though, like I said last week, we do have quite a bit of stuff in the pantry which I am utilizing. So lots of dried beans and lentils, a little bit of brown rice there, things that I just sort of normally have on hand. I am utilizing those things and I am using them up. So I do have a pasta sauce, a little bit of TVP, which I have been using. Still got the jackfruit and cannellini beans down the back there, some creamed corn. So I haven't used too much last week. I will use a little bit more this week. And just typical supplies and things down the bottom, like I do have some self-raising flour. Up in here, a little bit of sugar, corn flour, dates, I don't know, types of things I just keep on hand anyways. So I have a quick look at my list and my meal plan from last week. I've still got a few things on here that I have the ingredients for that I can do this week. So it's a great easy start, which means I don't have to think too hard about coming up with some 7 new meals. I can definitely start by doing some of this. So we've still got the lentil curry and rice, the poor man's fried rice I didn't end up doing. We did chips and veg instead of mash and veg, but we could definitely do something along those lines. I did end up doing the chili and rice, but I haven't used the leftover chili with the jacket potatoes. We could do that. Baked beans and veg on toast, that's still on my list. So there's a really good start. I'm feeling pretty confident about week 2 and coming up with some new ideas, recycling some of the ideas that were on here. And I'm going to sit down now and have a look at what I've still got left and just what I need to add for this week to just come up with a few more ideas that I can add to my list. So I've got just a couple more meals and that should see us through week 2. And this is this week's grocery haul. So I did go to Coles and Woolies. Today's total was $60, so I spent a little bit more. And let me show you what we picked up this week. So 4 kilo bag of potatoes. They are the odd bunch ones from Woolies, $6. So another 4 kilos of potatoes, which would be awesome. It did pick up a 825 gram tin of peach slices again. I've also grabbed another bag of oats. I may have had enough, but I'd rather just get another one just to be sure. Another 2 litres of soy milk. Now on the soy milk, just real quick, we use more than 2 litres of milk a week. Normally what I do is I will go to Woolies and I buy 12, and we had done that at the end of January. So while I'm using down our supply of soy milk, I am buying 2 each week. We use maybe 5. So eventually my little stockpile of soy milk will run out, much like my stockpile of everything that I've got in the van. My lentils and beans and things like that I'm using, we will run all of that down. I'm buying 2 each week and then sort of running down my stockpile. That is the plan anyways, and we'll see how we go. But yes, we do use more than 2 litres of milk a week, but I am also running down that supply that I had. So I also have another 2 kilos of plain flour. This week I did need to actually replace a couple of pantry staples, which kind of hurts when you're doing these really low budget challenges. So I needed some more cinnamon. We are nearly out, and it's something that we use every single day. So that was $5. So that certainly eats into your budget when you need to do that. I also needed to get some margarine, but we'll talk about that when we get down to there. I'll leave the coal stuff and come back to that. We'll stick with Woolies. Grabbed another bag of pasta. This is just the spirals. 2 tins of diced tomatoes, and then fruit and veg. So I've grabbed 6 bananas. They're quite large, so that was 1 kilo, or just shy of 1.5 kilos of bananas. They've gone up in price a little bit. $3.50 a kilo is not too bad, but we're starting to see the prices go up. I have 3 different types of apples today. So Charlotte really likes gala apples, and they were $7.50 a kilo, which really hurts when you're on a budget. She has got 3 of the Bravo apples, but they're not her favorite. She likes them, but they're not her favorite. Her favorite absolutely is the gala. So these were on special for $4.50. These were $7.50. Here's my thinking. She's a kid, and we don't actually need to do this challenge. We're doing it because we want to. So I have no problem spending a little bit extra to get her fruit that I know that she's going to eat, if it is within our budget. And it is, because if you remember back to my very first video, I've actually allowed us a budget of $25 per person for the week, which actually gives me $75 to play with. Now I'm trying to come in under that, but I think if the kid wants to spend, you know, a couple of extra bucks to get the apples that she wants, because that's what she's going to eat, then I'm okay with that. Again, we only have 1 child that's still at home with us. The other 2 have moved out of home. So yes, it is a bit of a luxury, and I know when you're doing these challenges, every cent counts and all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, this is just a challenge for us, and we have the ability to spend more, and sometimes we're going to choose to do that even though we're doing these challenges. And that's because this is my challenge and I can make my own rules. So gala apples, $7.50 a kilo. These ones cost twice as much as these ones basically. These are the Bravo. They were on special this week, so we did grab 3 of those for her as well. So she's got 6 apples. She's pretty happy about that. The zucchini odd bunch, there's 3 in the packet. I think it's supposed to weigh about 750 grams. $2.80, which isn't too bad. A small bag of peas, it's only a 500 gram one, $2.50. I can't seem to find Coles or Woolies doing the 1 kilo bag of just regular old peas. Don't know what's up with that, but anyways, that's what I've noticed. And that is the end of Woolies. Everything else I got from Coles. So Coles had a good deal on Pink Lady apples, which happened to be Shannon's absolute favourite. So they were on special this week for $4.50. So he's picked up, I don't know, there was 9. He's eaten 1 today already. And that is a lot of apples, but that's primarily going to be his snacks for this week, and possibly may even have a couple left over for next week. Who knows? But again, like what I said with Charlotte's apples, same applies here. The other thing we also went and grabbed was some salad stuff to do lunch out today. I was a little bit disorganized, but I don't think we did too badly. I bought 5 tomatoes. We've used 2. They were on special this week. I grabbed a $2 bag of iceberg lettuce, and I grabbed a cucumber for $1.50. So some of this will carry over, and some of it was for lunch today. That was a little bit more expensive because I was slightly disorganized, but also this is real life. And the other thing that we needed to pop back into our supplies is the margarine. Now, yes, you can buy a cheaper margarine. I don't really eat a lot of margarine, but again, so this is the one that Charlotte has on her sandwiches. This is what she prefers. Yes, it's more expensive, I know that, and if you actually have to pinch your pennies, then go for it and buy a cheaper one. But again, we don't use a lot of it. $5.20. It's an investment in our budget, but it also, you know, keeps the rest of the family happy. So sometimes they are the sacrifices that you've got to make. But again, at the end of the day, I've spent $60.33, and I'm going to make meals that everyone's going to eat, and we're going to have snacks, and everyone's going to be happy for the week. And sometimes that's the most important thing, and that's what I'm focusing on this week. And I still came in under my budget, so I still have $15 to play with this week if need be. All right, well, that is where we're going to start off week 2. I am pretty excited about this week as well. I think we're going to have some good meals, some interesting meals. Like I was saying to you guys in Sunday's video, if you didn't catch that, I will leave a link down to that below. One of the things that I want to do this week is just be more organized. So I'm going to spend time early on in the week prepping and setting myself up for the week ahead. I really felt like last week I was sort of scrambling a little bit. Look, we pulled it together at the end, but I would just like to take a little bit more time, maybe spend a day each weekend, maybe midweek, where I just do a lot of prep work, and that's going to free me up for the rest of the days in the week. So that is something I'm going to implement this week, and I think it'll make things go a little bit smoother. But once again, I think we're starting the week in a pretty good position. I've got a good idea of a bunch of different types of meals that we can make using up the things that we've got on hand. I did spend a little bit extra this week at the supermarket, $60 rather than $50, but I was still within my $75 goal. But I did have to go and buy 2 fairly big ticket items, being the butter, or the buttery, sorry, because it's not actual butter, it is margarine, and the cinnamon. Now that was $10 there in itself between those 2 items. So buying in bulk and starting to get that stock rotation when you're working on a really low budget is actually quite difficult, and you do sort of have to pick and choose, maybe picking 1 or 2 things each week, staying within your budget, just so that you can start getting that rotation going. But it's all part of the challenge, I suppose. How do we keep making this work, and keep doing the things that we were already doing, like having those items in bulk that we are rotating through that help us through all of these challenges. Herbs and spices and basic pantry items, I'm still including those in my $25 per person. We will see how we go for the rest of the week. But for week 2, I'm excited to share the meals that we come up with. That video will be coming out to you guys on Sunday, so I'm looking forward to catching up with you then. And as always, looking forward to hearing how you guys are going and how you went with your first week of Frugal February, if you are joining us. And if you're not, then come along for the ride and let's just have a little bit of fun, and we'll hang out together, and yeah, maybe, I don't know, you'll see a new idea, or maybe just think we're crazy, and I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. Come and hang out, it's all good. We love you guys here, and we love hearing from you guys in the comments. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, if you could please give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate that. It lets me know the kind of content you guys are enjoying and what you would like to see more of. And if you'd like to see more from us and you haven't already, then I do hope you consider hitting that little subscribe button down below, particularly if you go and tick that little bell. That is the best way to stay up to date with all of the things that are happening at our place, because you will be notified when our new videos come out. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. I hope you're as excited about Frugal February as I am. And I do hope to catch up with you on Sunday. So until then, take care, my friends, and we'll chat soon. Bye.